To those that live in Italy, how is the situation right now with coronavirus and lockdown? High school student here. Schools are simply closed and the TV is full of ads about washing your hands and avoid contact with other people. Edit. I forgot to say that each morning we have approximately 3 hours of video lessons from our laptop. Basic Italian uni student with bad English here. Basically in the past we used to cough to cover up a fart. Nowadays we fart to cover up a cough. I'm a nurse student in Italy. Right now I can't go to the university. I can't go to work. We shouldn't go out unless it's a necessity. So basically we need to stay home and finally finish our Netflix list. It may sound pretty cool for the first few days, but after a while it gets pretty depressing and boring. I got so bored that I cleaned everything at home. Sounds familiar to me. I'm in China and I've been stuck in my apartment for nearly 2 months. I can get food delivered and go to the convenience store to buy other things, but nearly everything is closed other than supermarkets and pharmacies. It was, as you said, pretty cool for the first few days. Now it's just terrible. Although it is slowly getting better again. I hope things get better for you and the rest of Italy soon, but I'm afraid this is probably just the beginning. I live in Verona. I'm a 19 years old living alone because my mother and my father took it in Milan, and for the first time I'm home alone for a month. Pretty nice though. I play GTA 5 with my friends like the old days. Doing some indoor workout and experimenting with cooking. I'm becoming a good chef. The school is quite annoying but it's okay. I wake up at 7:30 and at 8 AM I start a 5 hours straight in front of my laptop for online lessons, and then I go cooking my lunch. I don't go out if not to buy some food and maybe some cigarettes because the situation it's not good. There is no space left in the intensive therapy, so if I get really sick, they would have to remove someone to save me since I would have better chance of surviving. This is why I almost never go out, once a week. I don't want to be the reason for someone death. Okay, I wrote cocking twice, stop memeing at me, I'm Italian, okay? There will likely be a baby boom in 9 months. Efficient virus, kill the old, spawn the new young. And this is how conspiracies start. It was Chinese government releasing the virus. They have to get rid of all the old and sick people because of their one-child policy they had before. Now they do not have economy power, working people, to pay them pension. I have a daughter living in Saronno, but she works in Milano. She is housebound, on lockdown. Her courses are being done via Skype. Her employer has asked her not to come to work. She is not allowed to leave her house unless it is an emergency, which I hope never happens. She says there has been quite a bit of panic buying at the supermarkets. All the restaurants are pretty much empty. However, they are allowed to be open between 6 AM and 6 PM. People who are seated should have at least a 1 distance between them at restaurants. Tourist areas, Egg Duomo in Milano, are devoid of almost anybody. All school and universities remain closed. All sporting or any kind of events have been suspended. Ski resorts are closed. The same for cinemas, theaters, discos. All church services have been suspended. Whilst the measures may seem extreme, Italy has been the hardest hit worldwide besides for China. So it's necessary to curb travel and cultural activities to stop the spread of the virus. I'm a university student, and since last week we have been doing lessons via Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms. I don't really like these methods, but it's the only alternative. So, there's a fair amount of psychosis between a big chunk of the population. Supermarkets have been raided overnight. We are advised to not leave our houses unless it's necessary, but you can fill a form on your own to certify that you need to go to work. So basically everyone is running around without a real examination of that form because literally anyone can do that. The only thing that has been really impacted by this is nightlife and sports, since every league of every sport is suspended until April. Edit. Typos. I'm a final year medic and I'm graduating on Thursday over Skype. For a couch potato like me it's awesome. I can watch my uni lessons online and in my free time play a duck ton of video games or work out a little bit. Also, I think we're allowed to leave and get some fresh air. So except for the deadly virus thing, everything is okay. I live in Hong Kong, so we had protests and the virus back to back. My university has been closed since mid-November. Sounds like hell to some people, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm Italian but live abroad. Currently my brother is in one of the high-risk zone in the north. He works at the university as a researcher. Today he went to work and the laboratory was empty. Starting from tomorrow the uni told him to stay at home and that the structure will be temporarily closed. He was planning an exchange with the laboratory in Ireland for April, but I think it's cancelled. He's worried of course and a bit bored too, but he understands that the situation is critical and that we have to give our contribution to avoid the spreading. My cousin is in Bologna where the situation is surreal. According to him, no one is on the streets and the supermarket got assaulted multiple times from people concerning that they would have run out of food, which is not going to happen since supplies are guaranteed. My parents live in a small city in the south where only 4 cases were registered in the entire region so far. So they are not much concerned. But they are taking precautions if the situation will get worse, and they are trying to stay at home when possible. Luckily their jobs are not at risk because my mother works in public administration and my father can work on remote. I live in Germany instead. Yesterday I went to a pharmacy and I could get a couple of face masks just in case. The ladies there understood from my accent I wasn't German. So they asked me where I was coming from. As soon as I said I was Italian they jumped away. I felt like I needed to specify I was living here and had no contact with Italy since December. That felt bad. I am a doctor who works at one of the largest hospitals in Rome. The situation seems much worse than reported in the news. We are scared. But we continue to go to work for a sense of responsibility by turning. We do not have suitable safeguards for our protection, such as FFP3 masks. Us doc here. How are you guys responding to non-COVID problems? If so many resources are being allocated to this virus, I have to wonder if you guys are seeing a spike in mortality from things that are usually easily treated, that is, cholecystitis, appendicitis, etc. Are you trying to do more temporizing measures such as IV antibiotics and percutaneous drainage tubes rather than doing full surgeries at this point in time? Only emergency treatment is guaranteed. I know for certain that in northern Italy entire hospitals have been completely dedicated to the COVID emergency. But in Rome we are not yet in this situation. Right now we are simply postponing what is able to be postponed. Since yesterday night, every town is locked down. I cannot move 5 kilometers without a proper reason, work, or a relative very sick and so on. Otherwise I could get arrested. The government, immediately backed up by lots of celebrities, is basically saying please stay home. Our emergency departments in the hospitals are collapsing. Literally. Chemists or surgeries that are not urgent are being delayed. How's a chemo not urgent? Bars and restaurants can only open from 6 AM to 6 PM. It's been over a month that places where big number of people could meet have been closed. Discos, sports centers, clubs, schools and universities. It's crazy. I am 14 and live in Italy. It's not bad. I don't have to go to school. But I still have to do homework, but it's not too much. We will have virtual lesson this week. I have finally time to read Plato's Republic, and I can finally get better at doing the Rubik's Cube. I have a lot of free time, so I joined the Conlanging Discord to learn something new. This will last until the 3rd of April and I'm really happy about it. South Italy here. I'm waiting for the virus to spread as in northern Italy, if not worse. A lot of idiots rushed south to their mommy after the government declared the region of Lombardy a red zone. And here the people seems to not understand the situation. Yesterday morning there were a lot of people strolling around not caring about what's happening. Yesterday night the Prime Minister declared all Italy red zone. And a lot of people rushed to 24/7 stores to buy food. I decided to stay at home for at least a week. But my parents and the parents of my friends are going around the city like it's not their problem. There will be another infection peak here in the southern Italy in a few days. We have an hashtag running on Twitter. Io sto a casa. It basically means I stay home. People only travel alone and maintain a 1 meter safe distance. We have to change life habits drastically for 2 weeks to keep the virus from spreading. It worked in Wuhan. We hope it works here as well. I'm a student who lives in Emilia-Romagna. Schools have been closed for 3 weeks. There is no one hanging out. Everyone is cooped up in their houses. NGL. This looks like a post-apocalyptic scenario. People are starting to have relatives with the virus. My aunt, for example, has the virus. In every town there are a few infected. We can't move from a town to another unless we have a specific permission. For example, we can if we have to go to work. Every day we use Google Meet to make online video calls with our teachers and classmates. So we keep studying and doing our programs even if we are closed in our houses. Many people are terrified, while many are chilling way too much. Especially in the southern regions, because the virus has just started spreading there. While here in the northern regions there are already thousands of infected. Sorry for my bad English. I hope this comment answered your questions. If you're a good citizen and you don't have a job, it's hard to tell. For example, I only poke my nose out of the house to go to the grocery store. And I can tell you there is no big problem there. Sometimes there are empty shelves. But it's not something surreal. Though if you look at the streets, there are so few people. Some wearing masks. With no social interaction. It's weird. And the fact you don't have to go to school or university. And you can't even move out normally. Makes this whole thing feel weird as duck. It's like time has stopped. It's pretty shit actually. I'm sophomore and I feel like it will be really hard to catch up. Because we will have barely a month of actual school left. Moreover, the lockdown is causing severe economical issues. Especially to those who own small businesses such as restaurants, clothing stores, etc. A lot of these activities will go bankrupt. Because they have close to no customers. However, I think the only thing we can do is contain the infection. So the lockdown is necessary. I basically live in the epicenter of the outbreak of coronavirus here in Italy. Things are difficult for me because I am far from my parents, like 1 hour drive. They are in their 70s and I am stuck because I don't want to go home since I am scared I could possibly infect them. But at the same time I wanna help them with groceries and stuff. I am currently working from home and going out only once a week to do grocery shopping. To move between different towns we need a document attesting that we are either going home, work, or it's an emergency. The hardest part is hearing the daily update of the number of deaths and sick people. Every day we are told that hospitals cannot accept people anymore. All the hospitals here in the Lombardy region are saturated. Nurses and doctors are falling sick too. If you need to go to an emergency room, even if it is not for the coronavirus, they cannot help you and this feeling is devastating. Moreover, there are no masks around. It's impossible to find them and hospitals are finishing them too. Waking up every day to this is hard, but I'm still hopeful that this thing will end soon. I'm Air Force stationed in Pisa. I was thinking my drive to work this morning would be quiet after the lockdown. Nope. Cars on the roads like normal and saw flights taking off from the airport. Not sure how people are flying unless it's within the country, thinking currently waiting on word on how the military will go forward with the new decree. I'm in senior year in high school. I don't know how it is in other countries. But here we have a final exam called maturity. Currently we are organizing with our teachers to do online classes. And we have like zero information on how it will be our maturity because of the time we are losing at home. School aside, there's an order from the government that says that all the further pointless outgoes will be sanctioned by police. But for me, being a teenager, this is not so bad. I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I do my homework. And I finally have some time to edit some videos or read the books I bought about video editing. It's quite brutal if you ask me. But I understand the situation and I will cooperate with what my government decided. Our area is in lockdown since Sunday. Life is still quite normal here. Except for the lines at the grocery stores. We need a paper in order to travel from a city to another. You can travel for emergencies and for work. Got some extra food just in case. Get ready, fellow European Redditors. This is not a joke. Someone from Italy went to Malta carrying the virus. Malta is that dot of land you see beneath Italy. Schools weren't stopped yet, though they should be, and Malta only has 12 beds ready for the virus, and I'm worried it's too little. The press considers Milan a red zone and were preparing for shutdown, but it got leaked before actually being signed. So now a lot of people from the northern parts are fleeing to the southern parts, where many have homes in the countryside. I am not trying to be judgmental, but it is a lot more likely for them to have the virus. And considering how it may take up to 2 weeks for the symptoms to show, we do not know if they are actually ill. We are ducked. Also, our teacher got kicked from the Google Meet due to lag buffer, and we've just been at Pasty. Had to go to work this morning in a desert city. Felt post-apocalyptic in every means. Empty stations. Recorded warnings about the situation. etc. And despite wanting to rush thing at work to go back home, I can't really get the right amount of concentration.